Hi, Professor Wainaina here, your 5 minutes teacher on education, childhood, youth, parenting, and all things school. Welcome. It is easy to get frustrated when your child acts out or cries or becomes defiant. It may be tempting to focus on correcting the behavior. But if you only address their outward actions, the tone, the volume, or the timing, you will miss the most important part of what your child is telling you, their need. All behavior in children is a form of communication. When they lack the words, the maturity, or the emotional tools to express themselves clearly, their actions become their language. If you become preoccupied with the how of this communication, you risk overlooking the why, and that will have long-term lasting effects on your relationship and your child's development. Consider that children experience emotions intensely but don't yet have the cognitive development to articulate their feelings in the way adults can. Developmental psychologist Lev Vygotsky suggested that young children's thought processes and language skills are intertwined and still evolving. When a child is distressed, their primary objective is not to misbehave or cause a scene. It is to communicate an unmet need, a discomfort, or even confusion. By focusing on the emotions or needs driving the behavior rather than the form it takes, you help your child feel understood and teach them to trust that their feelings are valid. Research in child psychology has shown that when children feel that their needs are consistently ignored or misunderstood, they tend to escalate their behavior or conversely shut down. Psychologists and attachment theorist John Bowlby found that secure attachment develops when a caregiver is responsive to a child's emotional needs, providing a safe and empathetic environment. If a child learns that only certain forms of expression are acceptable, they will either amplify their reactions to be heard or suppress them altogether. Either outcome is troubling. A child who feels they must scream to be understood begins to see conflict as the only means to be heard, while one who learns to silence their needs struggles with self-expression and emotional resilience in later life. When you find yourself frustrated with your child's behavior, try to pause and ask what the behavior might be communicating. Are they feeling overwhelmed, unheard, or seeking comfort? While it is important to guide them in learning how to express themselves appropriately, remember that this skill develops over time and with consistent support. Your role is to listen attentively and to validate the emotions behind their actions, even when the behavior itself seems disruptive to you. Setting boundaries around acceptable behaviors remains important, but boundaries alone don't address the underlying need. Research by the American Psychological Association emphasizes that constructive communication between parents and children, where the parent acknowledges the child's feelings and works to understand their perspective, strengthens emotional regulation and reduces behavioral problems over time. A study published in developmental psychology also found that children whose parents responded to them with empathy and perspective taking exhibited better social skills and a stronger sense of self-efficacy. By validating their feelings and helping them work through complex emotions, you are equipping your child with the skills they need to handle challenging situations. Sometimes the most powerful way to address behavior is simply to listen and empathize. Rather than responding with, "you shouldn't be acting like this," try saying, "I can see this is hard for you. Let's talk about it." When you focus on understanding rather than controlling, you provide a safe space for your child to learn self-expression and emotional awareness. In the long run, this approach helps children feel secure in sharing their feelings and teaches them that their needs are worth addressing thoroughly rather than aggressively. If you truly want to connect with your child, don't get lost in the noise of their emotions. Think of their behavior as the visible part of a bigger issue with a whole world of feelings and needs hidden beneath the behavior. When you focus on what lies below, you not only bridge the gap of understanding, but you also help them build a strong foundation for handling emotions in healthy and resilient ways. When a child feels unheard, they will either raise their voice or lower their hopes. Look beyond the volume and you will hear what truly matters. For your child, all behavior is communication. Thank you for your time. See you in the next lesson.